In this video, we're going to make 6 pairs of earrings. Well, I'm going to show you 6 pair. One pair I made off camera, but I'm excited about this video because I have a style of earring that I came up with that I don't even know what to name it. I'm not sure what I even put on the title or the thumbnail for this video. They kind of have a shaggy look, but they're just so different. And we're going to have a lot of fun making them because number one, they're very easy. Number two, you probably have components on hand right now that you could use to make these. And 3, well, I think they're just adorable.
She opens up her studio door. Sunlight spills across the floor. A special table and quiet air. Her little treasures everywhere.
What I came up with for these earrings is so unique. When I photographed a pair of the earrings that I made and asked Google Lens to search out there and see if they could find anything like it, guess what Google said? No match. I think that's a good thing. I think I've got something unique here, and I think you're going to really love it. And remember, I always do a recap at the end of the video, and in this video in particular, at the very end, I'm going to share with you some takeaways, some things that I learned from making these earrings, and I have some tips for you before you try to make these. But it's a longer video because it does take a little bit of time. Easy for sure, but a little bit of time. So let's get started. Here are some of the tools that I'm going to be working with today. I have my flat nose and chain nose pliers. My round nose pliers have the cutters built right in. And then I'm going to also try the one-step looper. You don't have to have this tool. I just want to see how it's going to work for these earrings. I have some gold-plated ear wires, silver-plated ear wires, some small head pins, and longer head pins if we need them. I've set aside some beads. As you can see here, I have a variety of colors in green, and many of these beads are vintage. I have a collection of pink beads, including some hearts. And this is a mix of purple, yellow, green, and even some peach. And we might even make some other colors as well. You'll need a few other things. I have some jump rings here, 8mm and 6mm. I'll probably need some in gold as well, but for right now I just pulled out the silver. And then you'll need some components that are either circles or teardrop, maybe even oval or regular shapes. And then I have some chain, variety of chain here, linked chain from some necklaces that I've upcycled in the past. And we're going to take some of these apart and see what we can work with, because we do want to have a variety of shapes for these earrings. I even pulled out some oval chain. Not so sure if I'm using that, but I pulled it out anyway. Here's a little larger oval chain and some other round components. First thing I want to do is take apart some of these chains so we have some more ring options to work with. And of course I have these shapes as well, but I do want to take some of the chain apart. Let's talk about this larger chain that I pulled out. Some links to a chain has a split or a cut. Okay, it's a split jump ring. I can actually open this. But other chain like this is machine made, and there's absolutely no way to open up this ring. So it's not a jump ring, it's just a ring. I did try cutting one of these with my memory wire cutters, and it did cut. However, it weakened the ring. Yeah, I wouldn't trust this at all to use for what we're making today. So if the ring is machine made and doesn't have a split in it, well, I would suggest that you don't use it. However, I don't know if you notice, but each of these rings is joined by a jump ring. Each one has a little jump ring right here. So we can take it apart, and I happen to have 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, and I'm just going to take a few minutes here and separate some of these rings by just opening up the jump ring and separating the rings. And I'll fast forward through this.
She peeks inside her secret stash. Beads and baubles, let's colors crash. They were beads before. They are beads again. Ready and waiting to dance in the wind.
We only need 2 of a size. I have 2 of the small but I'm going to go ahead and separate a few more so that I have 2 of each of these.
She looks at her bead stash, let it spill like truth. Vintage to modern and memories of you. They were beads before, and they are beads again.
3 sizes here. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use all of them, and I will save all the jump rings because you never know when I can use those. Might be able to use them today. Who knows? So we have the black, or gunmetal as it's sometimes referred to. And on this one, we also have some jump rings separating the chain. So I'm just going to take some of this apart. I'm just going to take some of this apart. And now we have 3 different sizes of the gold rings. These have a cut in them, so these are split jump rings. So I want to make sure I line that back up as best as possible. Let's get this chain taken apart. Again, just opening up the jump rings, being sure to save the jump rings. Trying to find 2 of each shape that I want to work with. These are rather large, I think larger than I want to go with, so I'm going to focus on the smaller ones.
Ready and waiting to dance in the wind.
2 of those, not using the larger ones, and I think I can stop there. These are some of the rings that I separated from the chain, and this is a ring that I just had in my bead stash. It's textured on one side, plain on the other side, and then I have the little rings, the little jump rings that I separated from the chains that I showed you. These have a texture on one side, but not on the other side as well. So there's a decision to make if you want texture to the front or smooth, but I actually think texture to the front would look nice. And these are probably the lightest weight that I have, which is the black ones that I took apart. We're going to start with the smallest rings first and then work our way up to the larger rings. And we're going to also start with 1 bead first and then work up to multiple beads, multiple dangles for the earrings. Which ones should I start with? Oh my goodness, there's so many pretty colors here. By the way, this is a great way to use up your bead stash. I mean, who doesn't have a few extra beads lying around? And remember, all you need are 2 beads so that you can have 1 here and keep adding to it. 2 round pink beads. I think they're 8mm. Yes, they are 8mm. This is what I'm starting with, and I'm going to show you several different ways for attaching the bead to the ring. This particular ring doesn't have a cut in it. It's just a solid ring. I have 1-inch head pins, 2 6mm jump rings, 2 hook ear wires, and 2 pink and white stone beads. They're really pretty. Let's start with the simplest way first. We have a 1-inch head pin, and we want to make sure that that head pin does not go all the way through that bead. If it does, you may need to add a daisy spacer or a small seed bead or something on the bottom. But I'm going to keep this really simple, and I'm just going to add the bead to the 1-inch head pin. Now, I have found over the years that the shorter the head pin, the harder it is to bend. You know how a lot of times I will bend this at a right angle? Not so easy to do with these really short head pins. So take your round nose pliers and just get a hold of that on the very, very tip. I mean, I'm only in maybe 1/8 of an inch, but I've got a really good grip on it. I'm going to bend that head pin just like I would for anything that I'm making earrings. There is a little gap here because I couldn't bend it directly on top of the bead, but that's going to be okay. And just like I've shown you many times in my videos, let's mark this today. Yeah, I haven't marked it for a long time, but let's go ahead and, this one's pretty dainty, but let's go ahead and mark this. I've marked it about 1/4 inch. So let's get a hold of this. I'm putting my finger on the bottom to keep that head pin from spinning. And then I'm going to line this up with my mark. The wire is flush. And I'm going to roll that back. I know I have it in a different position than I sometimes do. Sometimes I have it facing a different direction, but I'm making a little loop. There's our loop. If you need to, put your round nose pliers back in pull it back and then close it up. The important thing is that it's closed. Let's do the same thing here. Just add the round bead to your head pin. If you can bend it, that's fine. But like I said, this is pretty heavy. I'm just going in here just a little bit, bending this at a right angle, trimming it down to about 3/8 of an inch. And another way that I show you to do this, which is how I normally show you, is I just have it facing me, lining it up with my little marks that I made, and then I make my loop. Again, you can roll it backwards, put this back in, and close it up. There we go. That's pretty good. I think they look pretty good. As far as attaching these, I have these little jump rings, 6mm jump rings. Let's open up the jump ring and pick up the bead, the single bead, and attach it to the larger ring. So one bead is attached. If you are new to opening jump rings, you basically just hold one side stationary, like my left hand, it's stationary, and then you just pull towards yourself or push away to open it up. You never go this way, you go this way. Front and back, not side to side. Let's pick up this little bead, close this up. You're going to hold on to one side stationary and then close up the other one. And if you need to align it, you can go back and forth a little bit. I like to use my chain nose pliers to open up the loop on the ear wire sideways. Slip this through the loop. Now, if you can't get it through the loop, you can use another small jump ring. But if you can fit that larger ring through here, go for it. Let's see what the first pair looks like. We have a solid ring here. There's no cut in it. And we have one little bead dangle, one little pink bead. We're going to make another pair using just one bead, but on the next one, we're going to wire wrap the bead. I have a very small check glass bead. It's 6x6mm, however, it's not round. It's more of a cube shape, and it's a pretty purple check glass bead. And this time I have a ball head pin, and it's a very thin wire. Now the ball is going to keep this from falling off, which is a good thing. Let's wire wrap this one. Make sure the bead is all the way down. And then I can do the same thing here. I can put this right here where I made that mark with the marker. And we can bend that at a right angle. Okay, right angle. Now, let's rotate the round nose pliers and rotate it upright. Again, I'm staying on that mark that I made. Now, bend it around and back and down until it looks like this. Now slip your round nose pliers back in. Again, you can go to that mark that you made to be consistent, and then bend this wire past the bead and crossing over until it looks like this. Because I went with this mark here, I've got quite a bit of room here that we're going to wire wrap. Next, you want to use your less dominant hand. I'm right-handed, so this is my less dominant hand. And put it in your left hand. In my case, if you're right-handed, you put this in your left hand. And just get a hold of the loop at the top. And get a hold of this wire. And we're going to wrap it. And because it's overlaying this way, I need to make sure your bead's facing down. I need to wrap it this direction. Then I drop it and pick it up again. And wrap right next to the first one. The bead wants to slide up on me, so I'm trying to keep it kind of at an angle. Get a hold of the wire, pick it up again, and wrap it around until you have about 3 wraps. And then I forgot to say that we'll need cutters. I've got my wire cutters here. I'm going to cut it flush, which means the bottom side is to the wire. Make sure that doesn't get away from you. And then take your round nose pliers, or in my case I'm going to use my chain nose pliers, and tuck that wire in. Just kind of go around it and tuck the wire in so that you don't have anything sharp hanging out, and check it. Make sure there's nothing sharp. So we have a little tiny, tiny wire wrapped loop. And then we're going to take a jump ring. You can use a 6mm or an 8mm. I'm going to work with a 6mm because the earring is so small. Open up your jump ring, put it through the loop of the little wire wrapped bead, and attach it to your larger ring. And then we need to attach this to our ear wire. We can either do that with a jump ring, which I think we're going to need to do because this braided wire is a little heavier. So I'm going to take another jump ring and attach this to the ear wire. Ear wire of your choice. You don't have to use a hook ear wire. And here's the other one. I did make this one last night when I was prepping for the video. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I think ahead so I can get all my supplies out. And here we go. We have a really pretty dangle drop bead with a very pretty twisted wire ring and a small jump ring and one little bead that is wire wrapped. So we made 2 pairs so far, one with just a little loop and a jump ring, and then one where the beads are wire wrapped. And wire wrapping is something that sometimes they turn out exactly the same and sometimes they don't. Just work with it till you're happy with it. If you are new at wire wrapping beads, do know that it is something that takes practice. They don't always turn out exactly the same. I guess that's part of the artisan look. But keep practicing and it will get easier for you. So we've made 2 pairs of earrings so far with 1 bead on each earring. So now let's move on and add a few more beads. And I'm going to try to work with uneven numbers. So the next pair of earrings is going to have 3 beads. This time let's use 3 beads. Let's make 3 beaded drops. I don't have any 1-inch gold head pins, but I've got 2-inch gold head pins. And this is where you could add some other accent beads. Let's start with this beautiful crystal. Isn't that gorgeous? And we're going to be making a pair, so let's go ahead and get 2 of these ready. And you could add beads at the top and bottom. We've done the basic loop, and we made the wire wrapped. Now, how can we make the loop on this one? Any thoughts on that? This head pin is more flexible than my 1-inch, so I actually can bend this at a right angle and get a little closer to the bead. I'm going to cut it down to about 3/8 of an inch, just like I always do when I'm making an earring. And I'm going to make my loop, kind of pull towards and roll back. Not straight yet though, so let's straighten it up. Just spinning a little bit, but let's straighten this up till we have a loop. I mean, I love this crystal. It's just gorgeous. Same thing here. We're just going to bend this at a right angle. You want to be careful that you don't break the glass bead. 3/8 of an inch. I'm using my marks that I drew on here. I've got my finger on the bottom so that this doesn't swivel on me too much. I'm kind of pulling towards myself and then rolling back and then closing it up. If it gets a little crooked on you, just straighten it out, straighten it up, and close it up. There we go. We've got our loop. We've got 2 more beads here to work with though. Now, I have this wire left over, but I don't want to put a loop at the bottom of anything, so I'm going to have a few more head pins now, aren't I? I need to order in some 1-inch gold head pins. It's just something I don't use very often. So we have a single bead. Now this is getting harder for me to bend at the bottom because I'm at the bottom of the head pin. So this is where I'm going to go to the very, very tip of my round nose pliers and bend that. I know, it seems like a lot of waste, but I guess the takeaway is get yourself some 1-inch head pins. I'm saying that to myself as much as anything else. So this one has a little more drop because of where I bent the wire. But let's finish making these. I just happen to know whereabouts 3/8 is. I've been doing this long enough that make your loop, close the loop, kind of roll it back a little bit. Important thing is that you get it closed. Okay, 2 more beads to go, and you can use any color of beads that you would like. One more to go. I guess I could have used silver, but I decided to go with the gold. It does like to spin. You have to be patient in getting a hold of it. Pull it back, straighten it up, whatever you have to do to get it closed up the way that you would like it. A little longer than I would have preferred, but it's really hard to get close to the bead when they're this small. Not a whole lot to hold on to. Let's move on to the next step. I've got 2 pairs flat nose pliers, and you'll find links for all my tools. And I'll put a QR code up here to take you to my Amazon affiliate store. So if you need any jewelry making tools. You can just go directly to my Amazon. Which rings? I didn't pick out my rings yet, did I? Let's go with this size right here, kind of a medium size.
Beads of many colors, jewelry findings, and more. Endless inspiration, upcycle ideas to explore. With joy and excitement, she begins to play. Beads, baubles, and dangles, time passes quickly away. She holds.
Now, as you know, the rings that I'm using today are from upcycling jewelry. But if you look around, I think you'll find some jewelry out there that you can take apart. Thank you so much to all of you who use my Amazon affiliate links. You pay the same price that I do, so don't think that you're paying a penny more. How it works is Amazon gives me pennies on the dollar, and every little bit adds up, and I really appreciate it. But I just wanted to say thank you. You'll find some jewelry out there that has some rings that you can take apart, so keep your eyes open. Never know when you're going to find it. What'd I do? I put a jump ring on here and forgot to pick up the bead. Let's pick this one up. Let's make sure I have 3 different beads. Putting one on either side, different bead on each side of the larger crystal. I'll be able to show you what it looks like here in just a minute. Well, we do have a jump ring here and no bead on it, so let's take care of that right now. I don't think it matters which one at this point, as long as I have the smaller ones to the outside. You could also hang charms from these, you know, it doesn't have to be just beads. I need a couple more small jump rings to attach it to the ear wire. Got the jump rings, and you can even use probably a 4mm for this if you want. It's whatever look you're going for. Sorry, I got off camera there. This is where I do need to check these and see if they're opposite directions. Let me get one of my earring displays here. If you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, a like, and be sure to comment. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. And keep watching. There's more. I'll explain what I mean by opposite directions in just one second here. Let's take a look at these. They are opposite. Kind of multicolor bead is to the right on this one and to the left on this one. I'll switch these out. I think it might look better. But there you go. Aren't those really pretty? It's all about the rings and the beads, and just look how gorgeous those are, and think about how many different colors you can make. And speaking of different colors, well, we've got some more beads to work with now, don't we? Love this. And they're going to move. Lots of movement. How about we switch to green now? I thought these would be really pretty, and I think they'll be really pretty on gold. These are pretty much all vintage beads. I have some glitter beads and some other ones I haven't even taken apart yet, and I think these are going to look gorgeous. And I think I want to put these on gold. I have the twisted wire in gold, and then I have this unusual shape in gold. Oh gosh, I'm going to go big or go home. I'm going to go with these here. I'm going to try this. I'm just curious about it. I do have, like I said, some vintage beads that I still need to take apart. So I'll get these apart and I'll be right back. Okay, I have these apart. They're not exactly the same shape, but I think that's going to be okay. They're very unique. Let's go ahead and get our beads out here. And we are going to need several head pins. Now, I went with gold again, and yet I said I don't have short ear wires. I do have this wire left over. I don't know. I mean, we could leave a loop at the bottom of everything like these are right here and just let that be the look. Let's try it. Let's take these scrap pieces of wire that we have left over and let's make a loop at the bottom. Make a loop, roll it back. I'm kind of pushing down on the wire at the same time. Close it up. Okay, it's not the smallest loop, but let's, these are all vintage beads. Let's put this green bead on here and let's just see what it looks like. You know, normally you have a loop at the top or bottom if you're going to dangle it, but in this case, I'm not going to be adding multiple dangles, to the length. Just see what we can do. Let's see what it looks like. I haven't tried it like this before. So now I have the loop at the top and bottom. Let's do the same thing here. I mean, I might as well use up this wire. Let's make a loop. Roll it back. I'm pushing the wire down to make this more like an eye pin, sort of. You know, it's got a little loop. Let's do the other large green one. These are just plastic beads from a vintage necklace, probably several vintage necklaces that I've taken apart over the years. Because when I take apart necklaces, I just group everything in just some zip closure bags, you know, by color, so that when I want to do a project, I can just pull out my green or my pink or orange or whatever. It makes it easy, makes it faster. So I have a couple of those. Those already have the loops. That has, oh, that's a different size. I guess I can't use that one, but those two have loop. Those have little rings. So I really just have these. How many do we want to go with this time? I said at least 5. At least. I just kind of threw a bunch of colors in here. I think I want to go with that shade of green. Maybe this little 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I want for my 5th one? Maybe not those. Maybe just this little crystal, maybe? Little bicone. Just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use up this wire and make little loops.
She begins to play, beads, baubles, and dangles. Time passes quickly away. She holds her design up to the sky, watches how the colors try to catch the light and sing along like harmony inside a song. There's no rule book on.
And then we have these tiny little crystals. Oops. Oh wait, that's not the same kind. I wanted the bicone. I had one bicone and one rondelle.
There's no rule book on the shelf, just her feeling, just herself. Design is freedom, beat by beat, a quiet rhythm. She takes the lead.
I'm using basically 4mm, 6mm, 8mm beads, and those probably are 10. It can be any size bead that you like. It really doesn't matter. I just think for what we're going for in this, that a variety of sizes, probably even a variety of shapes, would be really cool. We got the loop at the top and the bottom. You could turn them all the same direction if you like. You could do that just for some consistency. That one looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And these are not going to have anything dangling off the bottom. They'll just be a little loop at the bottom. We're just going to see what it looks like. I'll get some jump rings and be right back. Let's go ahead and attach the ear wire to our large irregular loop here, just because we can. Putting the narrow part at the top. Narrow at the top, wider at the bottom. All right, we've got our jump rings. Let's start building one of these and see what it's going to look like. I think I'm going to put the largest bead in the center. That would be this plastic faceted. It's funny, it's faceted, but it's plastic, but what it is, vintage bead. Let's build each of these at the same time.
So many possibilities, that's how she feels. I've got this, she whispers, inspiration is real. Let the beat swing, feel the joy the small things bring. Long or short, light or bright, her prayful heart sings. There's no right or wrong, it's my design. Like this is a song. They were beads before.
You can see I'm wiggling it back and forth sometimes to get that jump ring closed. These would make great earrings for St. Patrick's Day, don't you think? We don't really celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I am just a very wee bit Irish. Like most of us who have ever had our DNA checked, we have quite a range of lineages. I'm going to put this over here for whatever reason. I guess because it's light, so I'm putting it against the darker green. I don't know if I said, but this is a great way to use up your bead stash. It can be all different colors. It doesn't have to be a color scheme like I'm doing. Oh, those are looking cute. Why do I have an extra jump ring here though? Don't know about that, putting this over here. And by the way, you don't have to stop at 5. You could do as many as you would like. But as you can see, there is a consistency to it. And that is, I'm attaching everything with the same size jump ring. That is key. Okay, I could put more. I have some little rondelles here, but I think I'm going to stop there. I can't wait to take a closer look at them. How about you? Let's take a closer look at these. I think they're going to be so cute. Oh my gosh. Really unique. Oh my gosh, aren't those so cute? Look at all the different beads, the different patterns, textures. Even though we kept the loop at the bottom, they still look really cool. Because we did all of them that way, it looks very intentional. You could keep adding beads to it if you want. You could add a charm to the largest bead in the center if you want, but those are really cute. And that is 5 beads now with larger loops. You could even put a charm hanging from, you could even put a bead dangling down from the center because because these are so elongated, you most certainly could add another bead dangling from the top, or a charm, or whatever you'd like. So many possibilities. I know I keep putting my hand over that, but aren't those cute? I really like the monochromatic look of these earrings. Imagine these beads in all different colors, shades of blue, shades of purple. I mean, it's endless. But I do think for the next pair of earrings, we'll make a multicolor pair. And I think we're going to up the quantity of beads just a little bit. 5 beads. Oh my gosh, how many do we want to do now? We've done 5. Should we keep going? We do have some other shapes and colors here to work with. I still have some beads that we haven't used. How about if we do a multicolor one next? How about that? How many beads is this next pair of earrings going to have? At least 7 and maybe more. Yeah, I might have gotten a little carried away. I was thinking about using these, but because these are all vintage beads, I don't know, I think these are a little too modern. So even though these are kind of modern too, I think they would look really cool. And of course I had pulled out this shape and other options and stuff that we could use. I'm not going to be able to get into all of these today, but let's go ahead, since we're going to add more than 5 beads this time, and use these. I think that could look really cool. Am I going to attach it with ear wire yet? I don't think so. I think I'll just hold off on that. So we're going to start though. I have these purple jelly beads. Can you see? Let me show you. These are jelly beads and they've got glitter inside, but these here are crystal. So I guess in all fairness, most of the beads are vintage, and then these yellow cat's eye beads and the glass beads here are more modern. So a mix of glass and a mix of plastic. That's a lot of beads. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but we're going to do it anyway. As you know, the shorter the head pin, the harder it is to bend. So I think we're going to use my one-step looper. You may not have a one-step looper. That's fine. Just make a loop. But since we have so many beads to work with here, and for the sake of time, I'm going to use my one-step looper. I'll demonstrate it just a little bit, and then I'll probably make the rest of them off camera. This time I'm going to use the one-step looper. I'm going to push this until the bead stops. Let me move this so you can see a little better. Okay, the bead stops. You don't want the bead inside of here. So just push until the bead stops, and then make your loop. Sometimes you have to finish closing it. And we have a loop. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try a few of these with my one-step looper. This is a glass bead, so you most certainly don't want to get that caught in it. Wires flush to the back side of this. I've got a good hold on the bead. I'm pushing it up until it stops, and then just giving this a good hold. Again, closing it up a little bit. So that's how I'm going to make them. I'm just going to use my one-step looper. and then I'll be right back. So I got a lot of beads here to do, so keep watching. It'll just be a second for you. Look at all of these colors. I'd made all the loops with my one-step looper. Such a fast tool to do this. And now we're going to see what we want to put on here. And I have a lot of beads here. I guess my largest bead is this one, so we'll start with that and add it to the center. Oh, I do need some of those small silver jump rings. I don't know how many I'll need. I might need to get some more out. Yeah, I'm going to probably have to get some more, but let's just put them over here. And these jump rings are just, inexpensive store-bought jump ring. They're not the ones my husband makes. They're not the kind that you would use for chainmail. And sometimes the wire goes past itself, and I have to kind of work to straighten them up. But we'll get started with these. How's that? Oh my gosh, where do we begin? We're going to start with this one, the jelly bead, the glitter jelly bead. If I'd quit dropping the jump ring, I'd be ahead a little bit here. All right, let's do it. Put the jump ring through the loop on the bead. Put it on the component of your choice, whether it's a ring like we separated in the beginning. I mean, I have more rings here than I probably have time to make earrings today, but we're just going to attach these. Doesn't really matter where we attach them since I don't really have a top or bottom right now. But we're going to attach each one. I have so many rings left. There's so much more we could do, but I think I could probably spend a couple more hours on this and still have more beads that I could work with. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. I'm not going to worry about size so much in this one. I want different shades, different colors intermingled. So I'm just going to throw a yellow bead in here right now. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Just using my flat nose pliers that we've been using the whole time. Again, just remember that what is consistent between these is, first of all, get that texture to the front. What is consistent is using the same size jump ring. The beads are different sizes, but the jump ring is the same size. Whether you're using a 6mm like I'm using, I mean, you could use a 4mm, you could use an 8mm. Do whatever you like. But I am just using a variety. What do I want on the other side? How about this really dark purple? Again, it's kind of a jelly bead. When I put these colors together, I was thinking spring. Spring flowers, maybe even Easter, just maybe. I'm ready for winter to be over and ready for, okay. Oh, because I don't have the ear wires on, I am going to put the ear wire on because I want to make sure that I make these earrings opposite of each other. And that ear wire is going to be the separator. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. See, it's pretty with just 3 beads. Just the colors. So it's making sure my texture is to the front. I didn't have to go with the elongated, but I don't know. I kind of like this shape. I'm starting to like to wear longer earrings. Surprise, surprise, right? Because I've always been a shorter earring kind of gal. But now that my hair has gotten so long, I'm starting to wear longer earrings. I do have to be careful, though. I'm always concerned that I might catch the earring. If I'm brushing back my hair, moving my hair back, I'm always concerned that I might accidentally catch the earring. That's my only thing, because I have done that before. And that didn't feel too good. Let's throw a green in here. To the left. To the left of what? To the left of a purple. Put a green. Oh, did you see what happened here? When I put the ear wire on. Let's see here. What do I have here? Let me slow down just a minute. I've got to fix something here. I'll just check it. It's out of alignment. I'll fix it and be right back. You might find it easier for these to go ahead and have a little earring display of some kind. And I do have a link for these that I use in the video, the earring display. You'll find that under displays, but you might find it easier to just go ahead and, instead of doing this when it's laying flat, have it hanging up like this. I'm trying to make these opposite of each other. But I can see here that I don't even have my texture to the front. So I have to reverse this on this top jump ring. That's what I need to do. I need to reverse it. Couldn't see it when it was laying flat. I'm just going to hold on to this and turn this around. Oop, keeping the ear wire in here. Let's see if I've got it now. Is it going to hang right? Okay, I see what's happening here. And do you want them facing front or to the side? It's probably okay to be to the side because they are a hoop. So I'm okay with that. It's just that you need to make a decision on that. So as I'm looking here, because I reversed this one, I need to reverse these beads here so that they're opposite of the right side. It's because I reversed it at the top. I'll fix that and be right back. It's going to face out to the side. They're going to be like this, okay? With the texture to the outside, which is fine. And you can see, these are becoming shaggy loops. You can see that I have the colors going opposite. Colors going the way I want to now. Yellow on the outside, green on the inside. And we're going to keep building on this, making sure that they are opposite of each other rather than the colors going the same way. I have some more beads to work with here. So I'm just going to load this up. I have 4 on here so far. I'm going for uneven numbers. I'm not sure how many that's going to be. I'm going to attach some more, but I'll fast forward and play some music for you, and then I'll show you what they look like and tell you how many beads I have on here.
She opens up her studio door. Sunlight spills across the floor. A special table and quiet air. Her little treasures everywhere. She peeks inside her secret stash. Beads and baubles, let's colors crash. They were beads before. They are beads again, ready and waiting to dance in the wind. Tiny rainbows tucked away, beads of many colors waiting for their chance to play. She looks at her bead stash, let it spill like truth, vintage to modern and memories of youth. They were beads before, and they are beads again, ready and waiting to dance in the wind. Beads of many colors, jewelry findings and more. Endless inspiration, upcycle ideas to explore. With joy and excitement, she begins to play. Beads, baubles, and dangles, time passes quickly away. She holds her design up to the sky, watches how the colors try to catch the light and sing along like harmony inside a song. There's no rule book on the shelf, just her feeling, just herself. Design is freedom, bead by bead, a quiet rhythm. She takes the lead.
Oh my gosh, how many do I have? A lot. That's what I have, a whole lot. Look at these shaggy earrings. Aren't they fun? I know they're not for everyone, but those are colorful and fun for multicolored blouse or for spring, for Easter. I mean, these are cute. Now, how many beads do I have on here? Well, I need to count them because I have no idea. Are you ready to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have our uneven number. Shaggy loop. We got the textured hoop. I've got every color I could practically think of for spring. These are fun. Oh my gosh. I promised 6 pairs of earrings. I've only shown you 5 so far, but the video is not over yet because I made another pair right before I came downstairs here. I don't have them on, but I did make another pair and I'll show it to you in just a minute here. It's time to do a recap of what we made in this video. And remember that I invite you to vote. Vote in your comment which pair or pairs that you like the best. Then I'll come back in and share some tips and takeaways from making these earrings because I do think there's some things that would be helpful for you to know. So let's take a look at the recap and I'll pop back in after that.
There's no right or wrong, it's my design. Like this is a song. They were beads before. They are beads again.
Here's the first pair, just one bead, very simple, and you can make a pair in all your favorite colors. Here's the second pair with the tiny little wire wrapped bead. I think I am going to keep this pair, but the other pairs will be in our eBay store, Avante Avenue. I really love this pair too. I love the gold with the pink. I hope it's showing up because these are so pretty. Just 3 little beads per earring. That's all you need. 6 beads, some rings, and some ear wires, and you're good to go. But there's more. Oh my gosh. I love all the different shades of green. Monochromatic. You can do this in every single color, as I said earlier in the video. Blue, purple, whatever color is your favorite. Have fun with it. 9 beads per earring. Are they pretty? I think so. Are they heavy? I don't think so. No, I think they're just right. And you can make these earrings any length that you would like. Do you like? Before I show you the last pair that I made, I wanted to give you some of the takeaways. My first tip is to use lightweight beads. This is an earring where plastic beads work great. I have used some glass crystals and they do add that bling, but you only need 1 of them or 2, maybe 3, 1 larger one, 2 little ones. Keep the earrings as light as you can by using a variety of beads. You can use a variety of shapes. They don't all have to be round beads. They could be bicones, they could be rondelles, they could be charms for that matter, although charms can tend to get a little bit heavy. But get into your bead stash and find lightweight beads in a variety of colors. I think 1 of each bead per earring looks great. The other thing I want to say is if you want them shorter, use posts instead of fishhook ear wires. That would shorten up the earrings. Use smaller ring components, whether they're a circle or they're oblong or a regular shape. Keep them a little bit smaller. That will shorten up the earrings for you. And the last takeaway is to find beads that have unique shapes, whether it's a matte or a glossy bead, looks nice. Just imagine how unique vintage beads are, vintage plastic beads. They would work great for this. And they don't have to be very big. You can use 6mm, 8mm, maybe a 10mm for a focal point. That's all you really need is a variation in size. So that's pretty much my takeaway. Make them the length you want, but keep the beads light with a few crystals thrown in just for a little bling. And of course, different colors and different textures. All right, I need just a second here to get the earrings that I made before this video because I left them upstairs. So I'll be right back. I have the earrings on and boy, do I have beads. Oh my gosh. I did use this scarf as inspiration to make the earrings, and I will take one of these off and show it to you up close. But the scarf was my inspiration. But in the summertime, I wear a lot of patterned pants, capris, stretchy capris, and I wear a lot of black tank tops or solid color tank tops like this. So I could see these earrings going with these pants. Or the ones that I have with butterflies on them. I know, they're crazy, right? But I love them. I absolutely love wearing these. But let's take a closer look. I will say, the more beads that you have, the more jingle that you might hear in your ear. Because when I just put these on, of course I was kind of in a hurry putting them on. But yeah, I tell you what, I'll just take both of them off of here for now so you can see the pair. I just went to town with these. Here you go. Remember the ring that had all the texture? That's what I used. I did do something different though. I had to add one more ring at the top to make them go the direction I wanted. I didn't want them facing like this. I wanted them to be front facing because the texture on the ring is only on one side. So I added a little 4mm jump ring to make sure that they were facing front and not out to the side. This pair has absolutely every single color that I love. I'm going to put them back on. If you don't know, my videos are for inspiration. I hope that I inspire you to get into your own bead stash and give this idea a try. Whether you use 1 bead or 3 or 5 or however many you'd like to use, I hope you feel inspired and have some fun making these. Most all of the earrings that I made in this video will be listed in our eBay store, Avante Avenue. Here's a QR code. It takes you directly to Avante Jewelry within our eBay store, Avante Avenue. So check that out if you're interested. I say most of the earrings because I'm keeping at least one pair along with these. Thanks for watching. I'm Vicki, and I'll see you in the next video.